I'm Brock McDonald.
And I'm Harv.
Welcome to RCBC TV, the first episode for 2017.
And in today's episode, we're going to touch on some topics and trends that we think will be on the radar for 2017 as we look towards trimming our waste.
Right, which is something I was unable to do over the holidays. So Harv, let's start off today talking about the blue box. Everyone's pretty familiar with curbside recycling, but there seems to be some real changes happening about what we're putting out on the curb.
You're right, Brock. In this month's Solid Waste and Recycling magazine, there was an article about something they're calling the Evolving Tonne. And it's all about how we're changing what is getting put out in the curbside. So a good example to start with is, how many Christmas cards did you get this year?
Got a couple.
Yeah, same here. So not as many as I used to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You get all your bills through email.
That's true.
You read your news online.
I do.
Yeah, you don't get a newspaper anymore. Even in the office, we hardly print a lot of documents, right?
Yeah, it's pretty paperless.
Yeah, exactly. So less paper in the blue box.
So we got less fiber going in there. Mm-hmm. Does that mean there's more plastic?
There you go.
Oh, great. Okay.
So as we change our behavior, a lot of people do their shopping online. So you're getting more boxes, more packaging. We're looking for more convenience products. Mm-hmm. So lots of single serve or even, takeout containers. That type, as we change our, we get busy.
Yeah, they even got ready-made food at grocery stores. You go to Extra Foods or something like that, and there's a dinner for you. It's in a plastic container.
Exactly. So that's the gist of it, is more plastic, less paper. So it means that the companies that are collecting this also have to adapt, and the ones that are sorting it and processing it, everybody sort of has to make that shift as well. Mm-hmm. And a thing that we can do to help is, I like to call it pre-cycling, but it's focusing on the first R, which is reduce.
Right. Speaking of reduction, Harv, I saw an interesting movie about food scraps.
As I said, trim our waste.
Yes, I know. Most difficult to do, especially after the holidays. Now, recently, the Vancouver International Film Festival screened Theatre of Life at a gala that they were hosting, and our group prepared dishes that were made from food scraps. Now, Matthew Pattinson from Recycling Alternative, he attended. He thought it was a really great event. The food was really tasty. And the film itself is about making food from food scraps. It's about a unique social experiment and a remarkable relationship formed between some of the world's finest chefs and Milan's disadvantaged. We're talking refugees, recovering addicts, former sex trade workers, and a host of other people who just had no other place to go. It's a really interesting idea and highlights the food that we often discard and that it's totally edible.
Nice. And that seems like something that's becoming more common, where people are working with rescued food.
Yeah, in fact, if you'll recall, in Vancouver, there's two filmmakers, Grant Baldwin, Jenny Rustemeyer, who made Just Eat It, a great movie where for months they literally got their groceries from diving into dumpsters. And in many cases, the only reason why the food was discarded was because of aesthetics.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, that movie was both depressing and enlightening at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is available for streaming online at BC's Knowledge Network.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It is,
so
yeah.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. But speaking of aesthetics, Brock, we all like to look good.
We do.
We do. And once you have a suit that you no longer wear or a sweater that you have outgrown, what do you do with it?
Well, in most cases, if it's gently worn and can still be used, I donate it to some kind of charity.
Well, that's perfect. Yeah, places like the Developmental Disabilities Association, they work with Value Village.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, or the Salvation Army thrift stores, right?
Yeah.
That all goes towards the secondhand economy. Mm-hmm. They'll get a second life. But the new challenge is to keep out clothes that maybe torn or stained and it isn't rewearable. Instead of putting it in the landfill, what else could we do with it? Canadians on average throw away anywhere from 40 to 80 pounds of clothing per year. That's
quite a bit, and it's really becoming an issue. Mm-hmm. Metro Vancouver is doing some consultation work about a potential textile ban.
Yeah, and that would be a great first step, because what you really need are more options. So right now we do have a few places that will take the non-wearable clothing, but when it's estimated that up to 85% of our clothing ends up in the landfill, holy moly, what do you do with all that crap?
And speaking of crap, researchers at the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory have successfully converted sewage into a waste that is similar to crude oil. So they're taking human waste, turning it into a crude oil. And Metro Vancouver will pilot the technology as it taps into thousands of flushing toilets across the region to fuel a new bio-crude oil plant that will open in 2018.
That's amazing. And I mean, it's something that's always in ready supply in this region.
I know. You know, in some cases, I kind of thought that had already been done. If you watch the way people drive, you know.
I've seen some pretty crappy cars.
Yeah, I've owned a few crappy cars in my day, you know, but that appears to be a developing trend as well. In fact, Colorado City of Grand Junction, they have reinvented their waste treatment plant as an anaerobic digestion system that turns 8 million gallons of human waste into a renewable natural gas known as biomethane. Now that fuels a fleet of 40 vehicles that includes garbage trucks, includes the recycling trucks, includes street sweepers, dump trucks, and even transit vehicles.
I mean, that's amazing. If that works, I mean, that's something that could be applied to transit programs across the region.
Oh yeah, that could really save money for Translink, and believe me, they could use a little help with their budget. But you know, the trend towards trying to get alternative fuels has been a trend for quite some time. And in fact, back in the day, when everyone was coming up with turbine cars, Chrysler had one that could literally run on anything. And the president of Mexico had bought one of these things. You know what he ran it on?
What do you run it on, Brock?
Tequila. Mm-hmm. Do you know what tequila costs these days?
I would rather drink it than...
Yeah, I think so. It's $40 a liter. I think I would rather drink than drive in that case.
It's not so practical.
No, it is not. That's our show for today. Hope you enjoyed what we were talking about. If you have any comments, you can put them in the comment sections below.
Happy New Year from all of us at RCBC, and we'll see you on the next episode of RCBC TV.
Bye for now.